Humans carry death inside cloth. I know how absurd that sounds. I thought it was a myth. Then I saw it happen. My name is Vekthar. I was a security officer aboard Outpost K-17. A forgotten station. A dying station. The kind of place governments pretend still exists. Nothing interesting ever happened there. Until the human arrived. He came alone. That was the first mistake. At least, that was what I believed. No sane creature traveled alone through the fringe. Pirates ruled the outer routes. Raiders hunted cargo lanes. Entire fleets disappeared without explanation. Yet one small transport drifted toward our docks. One life sign. Human. I laughed when I saw the report. Most of us did. Humans fascinated the galaxy. Not because they were powerful. Because they were strange. They smiled during danger. They joked at funerals. They ran toward disasters. Every species had theories. Most were wrong, including mine. The transport docked. The airlock opened. The human stepped out. He looked ordinary. Average height. Dark hair. Worn boots. Old jacket. No weapons. No escort. No fear. That last detail bothered me. Every traveler showed fear in K-17. The station smelled of desperation. You could feel in the air. Yet the human simply looked around. Calm. Observing. As if he had been there before. I assumed arrogance. Humans often appeared arrogant. At least, that was my conclusion. I would later learn I was wrong. Again, the guard stopped him immediately. Standard procedure. The human raised his hands. No resistance. No argument. That surprised me. Humans usually argued. Or so the stories claimed. One guard grabbed his backpack. Another searched his pockets. The human watched silently. That silence felt wrong. Most smugglers talked too much. Most criminals protested. This human did neither. I decided he was afraid. I mistook stillness for fear. Another mistake. The guards emptied the backpack onto a metal inspection table. A ration pack. Water container. Medical supplies. A few personal items. Nothing unusual. The guards laughed. One picked up a photograph. A human family. Another found an old metal coin. Worthless. Ancient. The human said nothing. The guard became bolder. Cruelty spreads quickly among bored creatures. They dumped everything onto the floor. Scattered it across the deck. Still the human remained silent. I began to wonder. What was he protecting? There is always something. Every traveler hides something. Fear. Contraband. Secrets. The backpack looked too light. Too simple. Too ordinary. That made it suspicious. One guard reached into the deepest compartment. His hand paused. His expression changed. For a moment, I thought he had found a weapon. Then he slowly removed a folded bundle of dark fabric. Nothing more. Just cloth. The guards laughed again. One shook it open. The laughter died instantly. Every guard froze. I frowned. I saw fabric. Nothing else. Then I noticed the symbols. The insignia. The markings. The human's eyes never left the uniform. Not once. A strange tension filled the room. The guards exchanged looks. Nobody spoke. I had no idea why. Then one of them whispered, "Impossible." The words spread through me like ice. Impossible? It was just a uniform. I stepped closer. The insignia finally registered. My blood turned cold. I knew those markings. Everyone did. The galaxy knew them. The uniform belonged to the Lost Fleet. A fleet that had vanished 23 cycles earlier. A fleet destroyed beyond doubt. Thousands dead. No survivors. No rescue. No hope. That was the official history. I had studied it in training. Every officer had. The Lost Fleet represented failure on a scale almost unimaginable. Entire worlds mourned. Entire governments collapsed. The dead had become legends. And now a human carried one of their uniforms. Folded carefully. Protected more carefully than food. More carefully than medicine. The guards backed away. The human finally spoke. Just 4 words. It belonged to him. Nobody asked to. Nobody needed to. The answer frightened us. The station commander arrived minutes later. Then intelligence officers. Then more security personnel. The backpack became evidence. The human became a problem. I watched the interrogation through security feeds. The commander demanded answers. The human gave almost none. Where did he get the uniform? No answer. Who owned it? No answer. How was it recovered? No answer. The commander grew angry. The human remained calm. I concluded he was hiding criminal involvement. Smuggling. Theft. Grave robbery. Something dishonorable. Humans were emotional creatures. He had a crack eventually. Instead, he simply waited. Hours passed. Nothing changed. The commander finally asked the question everyone feared. Are there survivors? The room became silent. The human looked down. For the first time, emotion appeared on his face. Pain. Raw and ancient. Then he answered. One. The station froze. One survivor. Impossible. 23 cycles. No ship could survive that long. No crew could survive that long. No species could endure it. The commander immediately called him a liar. I agreed. The claim violated every known survival model. The human nodded, as if he expected disbelief. That disturbed me more than anger would have. A distress signal interrupted the interrogation. Then another. Then another. The station lights flickered. Emergency alerts filled every channel. I rushed to the command center. The main display activated. Ships. Hundreds of ships. Unknown signatures. Approaching fast. Too fast. Nobody recognized them. Nobody understood where they came from. Our scanners failed repeatedly. The commander issued evacuation orders. Panic spread through the station. I looked toward the interrogation room. The human remained seated. Calm. Watching. Waiting. I decided he already knew. That realization terrified me. The unknown fleet entered weapons range. Every defense platform activated. Every gun locked on target. Then every system crashed simultaneously. The station went dark. Complete darkness. For 7 seconds. 7 endless seconds. When power returned, something had changed. The fleet was closer. Much closer. Far closer than physics allowed. Several officers started praying. Others started screaming. The commander demanded tactical analysis. None existed. No database matched the vessels. No records explained them. No one had answers. Then the human finally stood. The room became silent. Every eye turned toward him. He looked at the fleet. Not with fear. Not with surprise. Recognition. My stomach tightened. The commander noticed too. Who are they? He asked. The human stared at the display. For a moment, he looked older. Exhausted. Haunted. Then he whispered something that drained the color from every face in the room. They finally found us. And for the first time since arriving on K-17, the human looked afraid. The human's fear infected the room instantly. I had seen predators. I had seen wars. I had seen planets burn through archive footage. Nothing spreads terror faster than seeing someone calm become afraid. The commander noticed it too. His voice cracked. Found who? The human didn't answer. The station trembled. A deep vibration rolled through the hull. Not an attack. Something worse. Something was docking. No authorization. No clearance. No permission. The impossible fleet had ignored every defense system. Ignored every law of physics. Ignored reality itself. I concluded they possessed superior technology. That explanation comforted me. It was also wrong. Again, the station alarm screamed. Docking ring 7. Unknown vessel attached. Security teams mobilized immediately. I was among them. We rushed through narrow corridors. Weapons ready. Heart racing. The human came with us. Nobody stopped him. Nobody wanted to be the one left behind with him. The closer we got, the colder the air became. Sensors malfunctioned. Communicators filled with static. Several lights exploded overhead. I told myself it was electromagnetic interference. A technical issue. A rational explanation. I desperately wanted one. The blast doors opened. Ring 7 lay ahead. Silent. Empty. Wrong. The unknown vessel was enormous. Black. Smooth. Its surface reflected nothing. Not even light. A hatch stood open. Waiting. No movement. No sounds. No life signs. I relaxed slightly. Perhaps the ship was abandoned. Perhaps. Footsteps echoed from the darkness. One set. Slow. Steady. Approaching. Every weapon rose. Every soldier locked onto the hatch. The figure emerged. At first I thought it was human. Then I looked closer. It wore a damaged environmental suit. Ancient design. Scored by age. Covered in scars. The chest plate carried a familiar insignia. My blood froze. The lost fleet. The same insignia. The same uniform. The same impossible symbol. The figure removed its helmet. A human face stared back. Old. Very old. Far older than any human should have been. The commander whispered, "No." The human beside me whispered something else. "Dad." Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. My mind rejected what I was seeing. The survivor. The one from the lost fleet. 23 cycles. Impossible. No human lifespan matched that. No biological model allowed it. I concluded the newcomer was a clone. A replica. An imposter. That explanation lasted 6 seconds. Then the older human smiled. Not at us. At his son. The resemblance was undeniable. Every theory collapsed. The older human stepped forward. His eyes looked exhausted. Not physically. Existentially. Like someone who had traveled farther than distance. His son took one step toward him, then stopped. The fear remained. Why? Why fear a reunion? Why fear family? Humans were irrational. That was my conclusion. It was also wrong. The older human finally spoke. His voice sounded like gravel scraping metal. You should have stayed hidden. The son looked away. I couldn't. The father closed his eyes. Pain crossed his face. The kind of pain soldiers carry home from wars. The kind that never leaves. I still didn't understand. Then the station shook again. Harder. The outer hull groaned. Several officers fell. A new alert appeared. Thousands of contacts. Not hundreds. Thousands. The impossible fleet had only been the beginning. Something else was arriving. Something much larger. The command center transmitted emergency data. Every screen updated. The tactical display nearly crashed. The objects entering the system dwarfed moons. Entire sections of space vanished behind them. One officer fainted. Another started crying. I cannot blame them. The older human looked at the display. His expression became hollow. Resigned. Like a prisoner hearing an old sentence repeated. The commander pointed at the screen. What are those? The old human answered immediately. Predators. Silence followed. Nobody understood. Predators hunted animals. Not fleets. Not civilizations. Not galaxies. The commander demanded clarification. The old human laughed. A terrible sound. Not amused. Broken. You still think you're important. I felt insulted. Then confused. Then afraid. Because he wasn't looking at us. He was looking at the stars. As if speaking to children. The son finally asked the question. The question nobody else dared ask. What happened to the lost fleet? The father stared into space. For several seconds he said nothing. Then he answered. We ran. I almost laughed. The lost fleet was legendary. Powerful. Heavily armed. Respected. Entire governments relied on it. And it ran? From what? The answer arrived immediately. The stars moved. At least I thought they did. Then I realized the horrifying truth. The stars weren't moving. Something enormous was crossing in front of them. Something alive. The observation windows darkened. One by one. As if night itself was swallowing the system. Panic exploded. Scientists shouted. Officers screamed. Computers failed. The object exceeded every known scale. Every known category. Every known possibility. The old human looked upward. That's one of them. One. Just one. My legs nearly failed. The commander finally lost control. How did humanity survive this? The old human turned toward him. For the first time, genuine surprise crossed his face. Survive. He almost smiled. Then came the answer. We didn't. The room went silent. Every species knew humanity still existed. Human colonies spanned dozens of sectors. Human fleets traveled everywhere. The statement made no sense. Then understanding slowly spread. Not through logic, through horror. The humans alive today were descendants. Remnants. Fragments. The survivors of something catastrophic. The old human saw realization spreading across our faces. He nodded. They hunted us for centuries. The sun looked down. The old human continued. We fought. Images appeared on station monitors. Unauthorized transmissions. Battle recordings. Human worlds burning. Human fleets shattered. Entire stars exploding. Humanity losing. Again. 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 The predators always followed, always found them, always consumed everything. I finally understood why the sun carried the uniform. Not as a memorial, not as a keepsake, not as grief, as a warning. The pattern became clear. Humans ran. That was their secret. That was how they survived. Not strength, not victory. Escape. Endless escape. The old human had returned to warn them. Warn everyone. The predators had found humanity again. I thought I understood. For the first time in this nightmare, I thought I finally understood humans. I was wrong. One last time. The old human looked at his son. The son looked back. Something passed between them. A silent decision. Then the son unfolded the uniform from the backpack. Carefully, respectfully, the room watched in confusion. The old human's eyes widened. For the first time since arriving, he looked terrified. Not of the predators. Of the uniform. Of what it meant. The son put it on. Slowly. Deliberately. Then he spoke. 5 words. Words that changed everything. We're done running now. The old human's face collapsed. Not with fear. With understanding. And for the first time, I realized something horrifying. The pattern I had seen was never humanity's true nature. Running wasn't their survival instinct. Running was what humans did when they still had something left to lose. And outside our station, blotting out entire constellations, waited the reason humanity had finally stopped. The galaxy feared the darkness. The darkness feared humanity. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like, subscribe, and join us for more HFY sci-fi tales where humans refuse to surrender.